and crumpled. Now you kind of look at them like scoundrels. What won't you do for that damn career? Listen, this is a disgusting business. That's all I'm gonna say. This business is so disgusting that I can't. I think that Jay-Z and Beyonce are master manipulators.
When Jay was going after B was a very young...
...each other and you respect each other's music. You know, it's always that conversation, yo, we gotta do something. You know that.
Right.
You know, the time filler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When that time filler turns into something real, then it's...
The picture that is becoming more and more clear is that we aren't just looking at a bunch of wealthy creeps operating with total impunity. We are looking at a massive criminal network that may be responsible for the rape and murder of hundreds of women.
They thought they had silenced our girl Wendy, but baby, she is back. And she is keeping her foot firmly on Beyonce's neck. It turns out Jay-Z wasn't the only prominent name lurking in those notorious Epstein files. Both he and Beyonce are implicated, and the alleged details will leave you absolutely speechless. If Beyonce thought Wendy exposing her supposedly fabricated pregnancy back in 2011 was scandalous, just wait. She is going to despise Wendy for the explosive secrets being unearthed now, especially those involving shady alliances with figures like Epstein and Diddy. By now, you all know Beyoncé and Jay-Z have been getting dragged through the mud lately, and the public backlash isn't slowing down anytime soon. Initially, the fury was focused solely on Jay-Z following his mention in the Epstein documents. According to an anonymous victim who contacted the FBI hotline, she claimed she once woke up in a room with Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein. She alleged that Weinstein was violating her while she was unconscious, with Jay-Z allegedly sitting there observing the entire ordeal. Furthermore, she accused Pusha of acting as a handler who facilitated the encounter. Now, the public wasn't entirely shocked to hear these accusations against Jay-Z, given his seemingly deep-rooted ties to various industry pariahs. However, people couldn't help but wonder, was Beyoncé somehow complicit in this too? Just when you thought the situation couldn't possibly deteriorate further, the DOJ released a newly unsealed list naming individuals present in the files, and Beyoncé's name is prominently featured. This revelation prompted internet sleuths to dig deeper to uncover what else Beyoncé might be concealing, and baby, the receipts are devastating. In fact, rumors are swirling that she allegedly knows something regarding the tragic passing of Jay-Z's late pregnant mistress, Kathy White. And guess what? Wendy Williams called her out for it years ago. Speculation suggests that Kathy was actually Jay-Z and Beyonce's surrogate, while Beyonce was publicly claiming to be carrying Blue Ivy. According to the rumor mill, after Kathy gave birth, she was abruptly removed from the picture, and Beyonce claimed the child as her own. Fans believe she has subtly referenced this in multiple tracks. For instance, in 2024, Beyonce released the song Daughter, which many interpret as a blatant confession to allegedly eliminating Kathy and claiming Blue Ivy immediately afterward.
Allegedly, the song Daughter on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album, it's potentially a murder confession about Jay-Z's mistress, Kathy White.
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress,
yeah,
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get fucked over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go, nowhere. Which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties. To walk mother out! Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. You Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Cause you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
But here's where the plot thickens. Long before this current scandal broke, Wendy had already clocked Beyoncé's behavior. Some of you might not recall, but back in 2011, Beyoncé sent the internet into a frenzy when her supposed baby bump literally folded and collapsed on national television. The wildest part? Even though millions witnessed the mishap in real time, her PR team still had the audacity to attempt damage control, releasing bikini photos to prove the bump was genuine. Mind you, the photos they circulated looked less like a pregnancy and more like a heavy Thanksgiving dinner. Unsurprisingly, the public wasn't buying it, and neither was Wendy. She went on her daytime talk show the very next day and dragged Beyoncé for filth over the allegedly staged pregnancy. Wendy even took it a step further by invoking Kathy White's name. Honestly, this was an incredibly risky move. At the time, mainstream media was completely silent on the matter. The Kathy White saga was strictly an if you know situation in the deepest corners of the industry.
His pregnancy is a way of keeping Jay-Z's alleged mistress away. Beyonce is going to use a surrogate so she can maintain her body, but they're going to play it off like it's allegedly, like they gave birth.
Oh, and Wendy wasn't exaggerating when she claimed Beyoncé only permitted 3 people in the room during the alleged delivery because it aligns perfectly with the reported timeline. Beyoncé supposedly paid the hospital over $1.3 million to secure an entire floor just for her delivery. It begs the question, what exactly was Beyoncé hiding that required a $1 million fortress of privacy? One of the most damning anecdotes comes from Jay-Z's former best friend, Larry Johnson, who claims he witnessed Beyoncé at an exclusive gathering involving underage individuals. Larry and Jay-Z were incredibly tight back in the day until their bond mysteriously disintegrated. The timing of their fallout is fascinating. It occurred right after Larry began speaking openly about who he believes genuinely pulls the strings in the entertainment industry. He claims that in the early 2000s, he attended a late-night party hosted by the Carters in Colorado. According to Larry, there were young guests present who clearly weren't adults, and Beyoncé allegedly made a highly disturbing remark about the situation.
Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house. And we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults, which I can respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this. because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving.
And we can't overlook Jaguar Wright's explosive appearance on Piers Morgan's show, a moment that nearly landed her in severe legal jeopardy with the Carters. If you remember, she sat on international television and boldly suggested that Beyoncé was somehow connected to Aaliyah's tragic passing.
Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
Since we're on the subject of Aaliyah, let's unpack the lingering speculation that she was deliberately taken out to pave the way for Beyoncé's meteoric rise. Beyond the industry politics, there are persistent rumors that Beyoncé harbored deep jealousy toward Aaliyah, primarily because Jay-Z allegedly only pursued Beyoncé after Aaliyah rejected his advances. Honestly, the deeply unsettling circumstances surrounding Aaliyah's fatal crash have only added fuel to these dark theories. First off, Aaliyah reportedly had no intention of boarding that ill-fated flight. Rumors allege she was slipped a sedative without her knowledge, and once she was incapacitated, she was loaded onto the plane, sealing her tragic fate. Dame Dash also spilled intimate details about Jay-Z's relentless romantic pursuit of Aaliyah, following her messy ordeal with R. Kelly. It felt like a twisted competition between Jay and R. Kelly to win her affection. According to Dame, Jay was constantly sending her lavish flowers and exclusive party invitations, but Aaliyah remained entirely uninterested. But here's where the narrative takes a sinister turn. Whispers have circulated for years that Beyoncé partakes in the dark, ritualistic practices organized by powerful industry figures like Epstein and Diddy. Supposedly, both she and Jay-Z were regular participants, allegedly engaging in these acts to maintain their elite status within that secret society. These allegations only intensified after DaBaby's appearance on Club Shay Shay, where he spilled the tea about being invited to an exclusive, highly secretive after-party with Beyoncé and Jay-Z at Diddy's infamous mansion.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and maybe about 15 others. Right. Jay-Z and Beyonce being, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Right. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was.
What made these claims exponentially messier for Beyoncé was the timing. Right after DaBaby's revelations, prominent attorney Ariel Mitchell conducted an interview dropping a massive bombshell, hinting at the existence of illicit footage featuring Diddy and a highly famous celebrity at one of his notorious freak-offs. Apparently, someone contacted her seeking legal representation to broker the sale of this tape. While Ariel never explicitly dropped Beyoncé's name, The fact that her interview surfaced immediately after DaBaby's sit-down with Shannon Sharpe led the internet to connect the dots themselves.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes.
Yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and...
Correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
the tape.
can't explain who the person was, but
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was plastic in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, Diddy. And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped.
What he is a broke down Mandingo fighter still working on behalf of the NFL. He did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the Bey stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house.
But brace yourselves for this. Word on the street is that Beyoncé is already executing a strategic exit plan to protect herself, especially in the wake of the Epstein file leaks. An alleged insider spilled the tea in a recent blind item. And let me tell you, the details are nothing short of explosive. The source revealed, industry insiders have been whispering about this for months. This A-list singer has threatened to flee the country multiple times. She is completely exhausted by the control, the immense pressure, and the handlers dictating her every move. Her camp is terrified she will vanish without a trace, and they have every right to be. The singer reportedly battles severe depression and dark thoughts. While her team views her as a potential danger to herself, their true underlying fear is losing their primary cash cow. They've managed to keep her under their thumb for years, but the leash is snapping. She is on the verge of a full-blown rebellion, fed up with her. Mother's micromanagement and exhausted by her husband's overbearing influence, she is looking for an out. But here's the chilling part. She knows exactly what happened to her musical idol when he attempted to break free from the industry matrix, and she is terrified of meeting the same fate. That is precisely why she is quietly orchestrating her escape, ensuring that when she finally drops off the radar, she can never be forced back into the fold. I'm just saying, if she abruptly cancels her upcoming tours or suddenly relocates overseas, understand that it isn't just for a lavish vacation. Believe what you will, but when the truth finally comes to light, remember who warned you. Fascinatingly, these blind item claims align perfectly with predictions made by popular YouTuber Storm Monroe a while back. He suggested that Beyoncé might ultimately file for divorce from Jay-Z as a calculated survival tactic when his empire inevitably crumbles.
Part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce him. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but you're gonna their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time, they built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah. Now before all this happens, we may get another tour, we may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows.
And I'm sure you've all caught wind of the chilling allegations from several of Beyonce's former employees. They claim she operates as one of the highest-ranking priestesses within the dark side of the industry, wielding enough terrifying influence to end people's careers, or worse.
This has been going on since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I loved them. I'd send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of things.
And trust and believe, Wendy Williams has the receipts to back all of this up. Remember, ever since her legendary Shock Jock radio days, Wendy has maintained an elite network of insiders feeding her verified intel with undeniable proof. Allegedly, she has known about the dark underbelly connecting Diddy, Beyonce, and the Epstein scandal for years. But even Wendy was hesitant to speak out fully, knowing the industry possesses the ruthless power to silence its critics. Looking at the tragic decline of Wendy's health and career, it wouldn't be entirely far-fetched to wonder if someone intentionally silenced her, perhaps falsely amplifying her medical struggles to discredit her. It certainly makes you think. As expected, the internet is fiercely divided. One commenter perfectly captured the outrage, stating, "And Bey is just as complicit as Jay-Z. She knew exactly what he was orchestrating behind closed doors. They both belong behind bars." Another chimed in, adding, "I refuse to feel sympathy for Beyonce, acting as if Jay is dragging her down. She is equally guilty." But now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Wendy Williams systematically exposing Beyonce's alleged secrets? Do you genuinely believe the Queen Bey is as deeply entangled in this dark web as Jay-Z? Sound off in the comment section below.